you're just simply a disgrace. I mean, that's just bad. That's just bad. Mets lose 3-2 to the Los Angeles Angels, dropping the series to them. Yes, the Mets, a team that is fighting for their playoff lives, lost to a 49-63 Angels squad. What do you want me to say? They went against the worst pitcher in the American League in terms of qualified pitchers, of course. They went against the statistical worst pitcher, and they got 1 run against them. 1 run. The only reason they got another is because of the Angels playing piss poor defense. Are we done here? Because what else is there to break down? I mean, this was just so unacceptable. And even on the pitching side, it's hard to give Jose Quintana the benefit of the doubt when he's walking 4 batters, and I know he only allowed 3 runs, which, hey, you know what, you take, but he goes 5 innings yet again, and it's just yet again more of the same from him, and it just feels like a lot of what got masked in terms of this bad start from him is because the Angels are just not a quality baseball team, and it's just unacceptable, and there's just no defending this. Like, there's no defending losing to the Angels, and especially because it's a long road trip, you need to scrape wins early. I'm sorry, you cannot afford to drop games here to the Angels. If you're losing on the back end, this is how I view it. If they salvage the series, if they salvage this by beating the Rockies, which they should either way, but then beating the Mariners, it's like, all right, I could at least stomach it. But for right now, you needed to win these games, because I don't know how much confidence I have rolling into the Seattle series on the back end of this road trip, especially now that you're losing games early on. How is it going to fare you when it's the back end of the road trip, you're exhausted from traveling, and you're playing an actual good baseball team that is fighting for their division right now? How am I supposed to stomach that when I can't stomach this? I mean, that was also one of the longest baseball games I've watched in my damn life, and that's another thing that drives me up the walls about watching Quintana days, is these games take forever. It is such a drag watching these games. But leave a like, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, all that stuff. And the losing starts when I come back. It's just poetic, isn't it? There's really nothing to break down here, man. Like, I could break this down inning by inning. What's the point? What is even the point? In the second inning, the Mets got a little bit of a rally going with when they got 2 outs. Griffin Canning thought he got Alvarez out, and he ends up getting on because of an error, and the Mets benefit from it as Bader ends up getting a single. And then the bottom of the second, it's just right away gone, that lead that you have, because Jose Quintana just allows hard contact after hard contact, and even more contact. He allows a single, allows that double to Joe Adell, which I thought for sure was leaving the ballpark. Throws a wild pitch, then a walk, sacrifice fly, 2-1, gets out of it. Good job, I guess. And then in the third inning, Pilar had a sacrifice fly because Zach Neto just absolutely pants them this entire series. I mean, he just straight up demolished them. And he had a triple there, and then the sacrifice fly ended up making it 3-1. Fourth inning, the Mets end up going down in order there. Bottom of the fourth. Again, there really wasn't much to talk about until Lindor had an RBI single in the fifth. Later on, you maybe thought he had a home run, but these are some of the worst pitchers in baseball you're going against, and you couldn't score more than 2 runs with this offense. And I am trying to understand what's going on with certain guys. And I mean, I said this yesterday too, and I did not want to be right, but it's just like every time they face a terrible pitcher, it's just the same deal. It's just the same thing. But then when it's a quality pitcher, nope, this offense ropes us in and makes us think they're the greatest to ever walk on the planet Earth, which, hey, you know what? In the playoffs, you play against quality pitchers, so maybe that bodes well for them rolling into the playoffs. But it's just so inexcusable when I'm watching Mark Vientos swinging at garbage, going 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, when I'm watching Pete Alonso hitting in the double plays left and right, when I'm watching Jesse Winker look just lost at the plate. And I know he had a big hit later on, which maybe could have sparked something there, but still, he has not impressed me one bit ever since coming to the Mets here. And I did not want to be right about Winker, but so far, I mean, this is just, and well, obviously there's more time for things to change, but so far, especially against terrible pitching staffs, this has just not been good, and I have not liked what I've seen from him. Alvarez, clearly that shoulder's bothering him. He has just not looked the same for quite a bit now, and it is very infuriating because it creates such a hole in your bottom of the lineup, and especially that part of the order where it was 3 of them in a row, Winker, Vientos, Alvarez, performing poorly. Not going to serve you well. It's just not. And then JD Martinez doing his thing where he had a very big hit the day prior, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. What do you want me to say? I mean, there is no defending this. There's just no defending this loss. I don't want to hear it's one game. Let's see how they rebound first. I don't want to hear any of that when you're losing to the Angels. And I get that every team is going to lose games and you're not always going to beat the bad teams. But this is the start of the road trip. You went against the worst pitcher in the American League. This isn't hyperbole. It's statistically true. He is the worst pitcher in the American League, Griffin Canning. And you lose this game. Scored 2 runs. Joyce didn't even step into the game to get the save, and you couldn't score runs. Okay. All right, and now you got a makeup game against the Cardinals. And then you got the Rockies series. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is that this is just undefensible. And this is just infuriating baseball when they do this crap. It's just so annoying to watch. And the fact that it was 2 games now where they could have easily won, that's what annoys me. And again, you look at the baseline stuff from Quintana and you're like, You're like, well, it's not terrible, but again, there's just no distance. I'm getting to the point right now where I am finding it hard to believe this team could make the postseason without calling up Brandon Sproat anytime soon, because they just cannot do it with this pitching staff right now. And I know that the offense really is more to blame here today, especially because the bullpen wasn't even that bad. Honestly, like, it actually was really good today. They only allowed 1 hit the pen. Like, Ottavino was actually good. Danny Young looked good. Baton looked good. But the starting pitching in particular, you need length here. Like, you need a little bit more length here. And I don't know if Sproat's going to be the answer to that, but they need to call him up, it feels like. And for the offensive side of things, I don't know how you figure this thing out other than you just maybe a lineup change. Like, I don't know if that's the answer or what, but something's got to give after these type of performances against the Angels. And it's just annoying. It's really annoying losses like this. But they play St. Louis, a 5 o'clock game tomorrow, which stupid time, stupid day for a makeup game. But it is what it is. Manaea on the mound. I don't know. Win. Like, that's all I could ask for right now. Just win the game. And I don't care how it's done at this rate. Really don't, because they have to salvage for this series one way or another, because you are going to put yourself in such a hole if you keep on doing this. And that's the infuriating part, is that this would be more palatable if they didn't start the season like dog shit and they were sitting comfortably in the wild card race and, sitting at the top wild card spot because they even won just half of the games they should have in April, or just even a quarter of games they could have and should have in April. And we're sitting comfortably with, like, maybe, I don't know, 65 wins, maybe even behind the Phillies a bit, sitting comfortably with 63 even. And it's like, all right, well, you lost to the Angels, which really sucks. But hey, you know what? Series like this happen, and maybe you could rebound from this, but you are not in a position to be getting a pass for losing to that team. You just aren't. Sorry I didn't break it down that great, the game. I'm just more annoyed than anything, so that's why I was just kind of unstructured this one. We'll be back at it again tomorrow and the upcoming week here for this road trip. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys.